Welcome back, everybody. This is the Benjinator, and you're watching Let's Play Xenogears, the greatest game ever. So last time we saw that the machinations of the Gazel Ministry were successful. They used the Gaetia Key, they got rid of Cain using Ramses, and as a result, it seems that now the resting place of God has arisen from the ocean, and people have started turning into mutants right and left. So what are we going to do about this? So this is an interesting part of the game, just because you see that we're in for, well, you're going to see, I should say, viewers, if you're watching this, or if you've played this game before, you're in for a lot of cutscenes, like extended dialogue and explanations and things like that for a good while. You will get to play every once in a while, but you're going to be watching a hell of a lot, so let's go. Let's see what's going to happen next. There we go. Oh boy. Yeah, so at this point in the game, there's not really a Solaris, there's not really Geblar. You know, what used to be the Skyrike is now just kind of an amalgamation of leaders and people with weapons. That's kind of terrifying. Oh man. Those poor Solarians, even those third-class people. Yeah, so it looks like we're gonna have to go there. Hey, even if it's a perilous battle, I believe in the power of friendship or what have you. It's gonna be fine. So this is actually kind of an interesting scene. And this is kind of what you're going to be seeing is kind of the classic, like, yeah, it's too dangerous. Sorry, Elly. Like, you know, we all might die from this. And Ellie's just kind of like, why? We've gone through so much. What's the big deal about this? And Fei's kind of insisted that you shouldn't go along. You know, it's so bizarre because, I mean, literally these two have been fighting together. Yeah, exactly. Like this the whole time. She took the words out of my mouth. Like, it's just so insane. But Fei tends to get weird. It probably because he's got, you know, multiple personalities or what have you. That would explain it. So, yeah. Well, on the other hand, at least we can understand that probably the Ministry is not at 100% capacity. They've been taking a lot of damage over the last, well, over the course of the game, really. We've given them some headaches. Right. Well, I mean, the wells aren't that difficult to fight, though. Come on, Fei, I think you're just making excuses. I know, they're creepy. I realize that, you know, cyborgs are scary, but hey, listen. This stuff happens. Well, yeah, that is an unfortunate prospect. Come on, Elly. Do what's right. Fei, what are you saying? What are you doing? Come on, Fei, don't be like that. Oh, get in the way. Oh! That was the wrong thing to say, my friend. Since when has Elly ever gotten in the way? I mean, she's been helpful in giving you intel. She's a great fighter. She's got a kick-ass gear. The hell's wrong with you, my friend? I mean, I love you, Fei. You are my boy. But that was not cool. Oh, Fei. He's so stubborn. Yeah, there's just no logic behind this. I mean, if you're fighting a battle against God, you need as much help as possible. And yeah, of course, now she's kind of the new savior of Nissan. She's very, you know, Mother Teresa-like, but she's got a lot more power to her. Yeah. So don't underestimate the power of Elheim Van Houten. This whole scene it's kind of a tenderizing thing. This episode is mostly going to be about the relationship between Fei and Elly and how it's evolved over time. But like I've said before, this this whole thing is a lot more nicely done than you see in a lot of other games. Not just JRPGs, but other games in general. I've seen romances just kind of get done in a very bizarre way. Oh, Bart, you're such a ladies' man. And I'm kind of surprised that Bart doesn't get like a female companion or what have you throughout the course of the game. Kind of seems like they're all just mostly focused on the deal with Fei and Elly and so forth, which is okay. I mean, you don't want to have like multiple romances going on in a JRPG. That could be a mess. I do like how they're all just like being a bunch of group counselors, though. This is just so bizarre. Oy vey. Oy vey, Fei. Oy vey. All this psychoanalysis. I mean, maybe they're just all a little bit worried that, like, Id's gonna reemerge, but he's got the bracelets, so he doesn't really have to worry about it. Oh, well. So this is a weird part of the game because you can all of a sudden just move around. And you can talk to everybody, as you're gonna say. Yeah, so you can talk to Citan. They're not really gonna say anything super helpful. It's all gonna be like some iteration of, go talk to your girlfriend. But, you know, it's kind of interesting. I feel like we haven't... Yeah, Maria, I don't think I ever use her again in the course of this playthrough, like... which is kind of sad, because she is a really powerful gear person to have. But on foot, she's just totally useless. Alright, Bart. Alright, let's go see what old Maison has to say, because I'm sure he's an expert. Aw, man. Come on, Maison, you're letting me down. So if you try to leave... Yeah, Margie yells at you. You can save if you want. But also, like, if you try to go to some of the other places, they don't let you go do that either. Yeah. Yeah, you can't go to the engine room. You can't go to that room, so... The game is really restricting your movements at this point. Basically saying, go talk to your girlfriend. Go talk to Elly. I mean, it's funny because it's not like they ever officially date. Like, they never say, hey, we're a thing now. They just kind of, you know, grow affectionate towards each other. So, it's just kind of interesting. This sort of unconventional romance, so to speak. Not that it's bad. I mean, I certainly don't mind. I don't know. I mean, I think that Fei's heart's in the right place, but he's still being kind of patronizing, especially when he says that. Like, that your body doesn't belong to just you anymore. I mean, I understand the sentiment, but still. It's a little crazy. Oh, yeah. Used to be enemies, but then she saw the light. I think I saw myself in you. I think Fei, if Fei said that, it would have totally different implications. I saw myself in you, Elly. Oh. Wow. At least Fei is, Oh, this is all very interesting. So Ellie's basically saying, well, in the beginning I didn't actually have any love for you. But, now it seems like she's evolved to a much more mature degree of affection. Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, this is kind of the cementing of their relationship, so to speak. So I think you all know what's coming. I think this is on its way to something. I won't die. I'm Fei. I'm also id. I also may have other personalities deep down, so, you know, I got multiple lives, what can I say? Yeah. Aw. She's so sweet. Fei, you got yourself a nice girl. Yeah, I remember in the forest, that he knew exactly what her name was before even saying anything. So that's kind of revealing, I think. It's very interesting. Id. Yes. But then again, if these two, like, had previous lives as Lacan and Sophia, then it kind of makes sense that they'd hook up again. So it's all pretty interesting, this whole idea of, like, multi-generational existence. And we kind of saw this in Krillion's lab with the whole Ouroboros ring and so forth. I see. See, Fei doesn't want to lose Elly, so that way he has somebody to come home to. I definitely see how it is now. I believe. Oh, Fei. You're such a strong, handsome man. Oh, here we go. Awkward. Like, I like how this whole time they've been standing, like, 4 feet from each other, at least. Like, it's considerable distance, that's for sure. Oh, there we go. I love that with the pixels, or the sprites, I should say. Like, it just looks so awkward. Like, they're a couple of, like, birds, like, with their heads askew. Oh. Well, that's the, this is the post-coital moment, I suppose. It can be implied that they, you know, did it. Spent the night together. Oh. Apparently they don't sleep either. Ah, well. Not the worst thing. I was watching you while you slept. Tee-hee-hee. Oh, creepy Elly. I mean, she doesn't really have a lot of moments where she's creepy, but that definitely seems like one of them. Alright. Well, I guess Elly finally agreed to it. She basically agreed to stay behind while Fei goes off gallivanting or so forth. It's a pendant. Oh yeah, that thing. The thing that keeps showing up. I'm not sure who it really belongs to. I mean, there's implications that it used to belong to Sophia back in the day, but I'm not sure exactly how Fei got a hold on it. That's kind of interesting. There's a lot that's interesting about this game, obviously. There's a lot of nitty-gritty. There's a lot of small details that actually do have an effect on the larger plot. And there's a lot of hints, there's a lot of foreshadowing. There's a lot of attention to just kind of these minor things that evolve into larger things. And that's one of the reasons why this game is so incredibly powerful. Is that everything's kind of done on purpose. Everything's kind of done with a specific design in mind. So, Elly, of course, back in Nissan, still wearing that damn Solaris uniform. She needs to like change up her wardrobe, I think. I mean, especially at this point in the game, like, you don't want to get mistaken as a Solarian soldier, especially when the Solarians are basically like wrecking shop over various, various parts of the land dwellers, so to speak. Although there's not really even a distinction anymore, because Solaris seems like all their people have been turned into weapons. So that basically means that they're kind of left to their own devices. There's just one. The land nations are the only ones left. I mean, it's really interesting and weird to see the fast evolution of a lot of these nation states throughout most of the game, and just like how some of them are still around and some of them are not. But anyway, yeah, they're having. I've been glossing over this whole conversation that her and Margie have been having, but they've just been talking about, you know, your innermost desires, how men try to tough it out, and you know what to do about Fei. But yeah, reincarnation of Sophia. That's kind of a revealing point. Is that basically Elly still has a similar mindset as Sophia, even though Elly has never read the scriptures of Nissan. So, Elly kind of had a revelation, I suppose, when she entered the city. So this is what I mean, folks, is that you're going to have a lot of these long cutscenes with lots of dialogue. But I would definitely recommend, even though like I'm showing this all to you in the form of YouTube videos and so forth, and you're getting to see all these cutscenes, there's nothing quite like playing this game for yourself. Even if you're just advancing text, even if you're just watching these cutscenes, like being able to actually, you know, have the controller in your hand and playing this game and experiencing it for yourself is definitely worthwhile. So, I mean, don't think of this LP as necessarily like a substitute to playing Xenogears. I think it's a game that everybody that loves JRPGs needs to play, and everybody that just loves like literature and great stories, this is the way to do it, man. This is the way it's done. But the unfortunate part of this part of the game is that, of course, you don't really get to see a whole lot of gameplay, which, you know, kind of makes the game a little bit exceptional in a lot of ways. Not necessarily a bad thing, though. Well, alright, guys, that's the end of that episode. We saw that, you know, we had kind of a tearful and sexy love scene between Elly and Fei. It seems that Fei did convince Elly to stay behind, but, you know, it didn't really come easily. Yeah, a little bit of an argument, and now looks like things are made up. So now that that conflict has been resolved, let's focus on the bigger conflict about the fact that God's resting place has come out of the ocean, and a lot of bad stuff is going to happen. So how's that whole thing going to go? How's that going to play out? Find out in the next episode of Let's Play Xenogears. This is the Benjinator, and thank you guys for watching.